Coming up on the Highlight Show, a formidable foe, the victory out to terminate the Roar's run. After proving a point in Melbourne, the Sky Blues were out to shine against Miron's men. The Mariners looking to make it 2 on the spin at the Cake Tin. And could Perth find the solution to their travel sickness in the Hunter? Yes, all that to come, plus 2 teams under Dutch direction but needing Dutch courage. The Heart face Adelaide at Highmarsh. Hello again and welcome to the Hyundai A-League Highlight Show. All the action, all the goals and of course all the talking points from the weekend matches. And with me as usual, the font of all football knowledge, Andy Harper. Good to see you.
G'day Simon, how are you mate?
Yeah, great, and a super weekend of action. Johnny Warren died 7 years ago this weekend, one of Australian football's great legends. He would love the way the A-League is shaping up at the moment and it's creating a lot of headlines.
Yeah, well he'd be really proud of football's progress. He'd be very mindful of the challenges that remain, and at the moment I'd reckon he'd be rejoicing with the style that Brisbane are putting to their football at the moment.
OK, well there was no doubt about what was the game of the weekend even before a ball was kicked. Mehmet Durakovic paired Archie Thompson and Harry Kewell together up front. Brisbane unchanged as they sought to keep their amazing 32-game unbeaten run going. Robbie Slater joined me in commentary at Etihad Stadium.
So here we go, Melbourne victory versus Brisbane Roar, the biggest versus the best. Who's David and who's Goliath here this evening, Robbie Slater?
Well, I think you summed it up. Off the pitch, Melbourne victory are the benchmark, but on the pitch, no doubts that Brisbane Roar are the club everyone's aspiring to. There have been moments along the way in this winning streak or unbeaten streak of 32 where they've had late equalisers. There's been many examples of that.
Now there's a chance here early doors for Brisbane Roar. Besart Berisha, down he goes in the box, and Ben Williams says that's a penalty kick, and Ante Kovic has a red card. Unbelievable. A minute played, victory down to 10 already, and Brisbane Roar have a penalty.
Well, absolutely incredible mistake. And it comes to Adrian Leigh, he just gets it stuck between his feet, and the Predator, Berisha's alive to it, and he's through one-on-one with Kovic. Kovic takes him down, letter of the law, it is a red card.
And what a moment this is for young Lawrence Thomas. It's his A-League debut, just 19 years of age. He's had plenty of time to think about facing this penalty kick. And will the delay play on the nerves perhaps of Enrique? Scored 2 from the spot last week, of course, against Adelaide United. No mistake from Enrique.
He's going to take it again.
Ben Williams brings them back. Encroachment.
He gets another chance, Lawrence Thomas.
Different way, same result. Here we go again. Brisbane in front.
Well, talk about calm. He had to do it twice. Well, he goes a different way from the first penalty, and Lawrence Thomas guesses the right way. He's very close.
Well, it's never dull when Brisbane Roar are in town. Harry Kewell and now Carlos Hernandez will attempt to try and make profit from that, but it's not a great ball from the Costa Rican. Here he is again. Thompson sets off on a run. It's behind the Melbourne victory, number 10. Partaloo being challenged by Diogo Ferreira. Archie Thompson scores! 1-1! The 10-man draw level! And the goal thief has stolen another one. Archie Thompson.
Well, that's a wonderful finish from Archie Thompson. Hernandez, he's looking for Harry Kewell on the far side. There's the nod down there. Partaloo goes for it. That's a great challenge there. And then he gets his toe in. Archie Thompson's clearly onside. And a wonderful finish. Ferreira with the pressing. Look at the awareness.
Goal number 55 in the A-League for Archie Thompson. And what an incredible opening 10 minutes we've had here. Now Archie Thompson's away here and onside. Smith coming across the cover. In fact, it's German. Thompson going this way and that. Melbourne victory lead 2-1. Archie Thompson wriggled this way and that. And Brisbane were just mesmerised.
Superb play from Harry Kewell. The tackle first on Enrique. Then he gets his head up. And there's no hesitation. Head up, he sees Thompson and releases him. And Smith tries to get back. Archie Thompson twists him inside and out, and a fantastic finish. Superb form at the moment.
Absolutely brilliant. And just on the crowds, the Victory could become the first club this season to pass 100,000 spectators altogether. This is only their third home game. Now Broich wants a free kick and he'll get it. And Ben Williams has gone to his pocket again. Yellow card for Adrian Leia.
Broich looking to break in behind. There's the arm across the shoulder. That's clearly a foul.
Melbourne Victory assembling the wall. Young Lawrence Thomas wants to get it absolutely right, no doubt. And Brisbane have got a few men in there causing mischief as well. Something they've no doubt worked on as they scatter, and Broich drives through and into the back of the net. 2-2. Thomas Broich for Brisbane.
Well, that's the side that the wall is supposed to be protecting. It goes through, they've jumped.
Well, they've all jumped out of the way, haven't they?
He's meant to hit that low. He's banking on them jumping, and that's exactly what he's done. You can't blame the goalkeeper because that's the side that the wall is protecting. It would be very interesting to hear Mark Bosnich's take on that.
Meantime, what a game we've had here at Etihad Stadium already as Enrique pulls it back. Here's Broich. Oh, he hits the woodwork. Goodness me.
Fashini, he's coming across the cover. Just think he lets Broich get a little bit too far away from him.
Partaloo. Thompson, always willing. Got to be careful here though, and he's given it away. Nichols slides it through. Here's Enrique, and it's cleared off the line by Adrian Leia. But it really should have been 3-2, and perhaps Adrian Leia has just slightly, ever so slightly, atoned for that error in the first minute.
I was just about to say that, and I was just about to praise Enrique there. That ball's destined for the back of the net, or at the very least Berisha. That's a great goal line save.
Well, it's just been sensational. Perfect Saturday night's entertainment. Broich, oh, he was caught late there by Fashini, and that's going to be another card. Oh, it's a red! I don't believe this. Melbourne Victory are down to 9.
I think it's a yellow card. He comes in, that's a yellow card. It's no more. It's no more than yellow card. Stefanuto with a little pass. Broich just waiting for him and he skips inside. Does he make more of that, Thomas Broich? I can't believe that's a red card.
Nichols. Enrique, this looks more threatening. Behind it goes, and it's a good save by Lawrence Thomas off the boot of Shane Stefanuto.
Yes. I think he was trying to go for the far corner and didn't connect properly.
Broich. Somebody needs to have a shot. Thomas Broich does, and very nearly gives Brisbane the lead. Somebody has to take a gamble for Brisbane, perhaps.
We've really been waiting for the second half is Thomas Broich to do this sort of thing. Cuts inside, it's his trademark really, and it swerves away. He needed it to bend the other way, and he knows how close that was.
Another fabulous night at Etihad. I mean, Melbourne Victory have been part of many of the fantastic games through the history of the A-League. But we've got a couple of great examples on Fox Field, Simon, of not only how well Melbourne defended, but a portal, perhaps, to how to unpick Brisbane from here on. This one starts with their man of the moment, Thomas Broich. And on the first freeze, have a look at Ivan Franjic, Shane Stefanuto, how far up they attack and how much space is available in behind them. We're going to keep an eye on Archie Thompson as we go. One of the big stories of the night was how well these 7 men defended together. The coordination was fantastic. Brisbane trying to exploit that space in behind the Melbourne defence, which just wasn't there, and they stuck really fat. Brisbane knocked the ball around, waiting for this money opportunity. Mitch Nichols pulls the trigger. It's not quite going to come off. So once you've got this defensive position then, what do you do in transition against Brisbane? With 9 men, Victory did a fantastic job, not only to repel Brisbane, but to show possibly a way forward.
Nobody is able to beat Brisbane Roar. 33 matches undefeated. Wellington Phoenix get their chance against the Roar next weekend. Now, talking of the Phoenix, they went into their game this weekend with the Central Coast Mariners on Friday night, shorn of 5 players through injury and, of course, the suspended Ben Sigmund. Interesting one, this one, Harps. This rejigged front line for the Mariners, Simon, Abini, Daniel McBreen, all involved heavily.
Well, it's a good result for Central Coast, a fantastic result. And they hadn't started the season with a lot of confidence. But they've certainly built with 2 wins on the road now, and the converse is for Wellington Phoenix. You know, what was for so long a very difficult place for visiting teams to go. The Cake Tin now, they've lost consecutive games. But Matt Simon is showing a newness to his game, and we know about the boisterous Matt Simon. Now we're seeing a Matt Simon who is from a central starting position drifting into these wider attacking counter opportunities and
setting up goals as he did here for Bernie.
2 weeks in a row now from those positions, with Daniel McBreen again the provider. As much underrated in that position is Daniel McBreen, but Simon to Abini for the first goal, and that was the combination that won the match last week, and it was going to do so ultimately here. But Wellington, we're going to get their chance to have a crack at the title, as it were.
Yeah, Chris Greenacre with the equaliser. Of course, they're still missing Paul Eiffel, is so important for the Wellington Phoenix. He's clearly on side here. Great finish. He's done that many times in the past for Wellington Phoenix. And given their home record, you might have fancied Wellington to go on and win it from here, but they didn't. And instead, it was Matt Simon who netted a late winner for the Mariners.
Well, Wellington's season so far has been bizarre. They've lost games they really should have won, and their impregnable record at home is looking very brittle at the moment. But it was a former Phoenix man to set up the winning goal, and Troy Hearfield, who in that similar position has provided crosses for Wellington Phoenix when he was trying to entertain the Yellow Fever. He has come back on his first visit to his former home ground and has done exactly the same for his new team, the Central Coast Mariners. And there's Matt Simon this time, not providing, but playing the poacher in the 6-yard box. He did it really, really well.
Now, 2 Dutch coaches under pressure at Hindmarsh on Friday as Adelaide tried to bounce back from their 7-1 thumping in Brisbane. And Melbourne Heart went in search of their first win of the season. It was a result, Harps, that didn't really suit either side. Bruce Jitte in good form early on for the Reds in Rinnie Colin's rejig side.
Yeah, look, Colin wielded the axe. He had to do something, and Bruce Jitte came in, and Adelaide had real moments in that first half where they showed signs of the Adelaide that people are expecting this year. There was power, there was precision, there was hunger, and they really put it to Melbourne Heart, who for certain periods in that first half was all they could do to hold on. Colosimo's first yellow card, which is going to bite Melbourne Heart later in the match in a very controversial moment. But this goal, if it was scored, not cleared off the line by Aziz Bayic, wouldn't have been unjustified, because Adelaide's first half, as I said, did show signs of real promise.
Now, as we say, Adelaide started with plenty of firepower in their starting 11, but it was one of those strikers, Bruce Jitte, who failed to control that, well, what we'd call a hospital ball,
yeah,
really,
it was
that led to Melbourne Heart's first goal.
It was a tough one, but to even talk about that, which I guess you need to in passing, but is to take away from Brendan Hamill, a youngster who's come in because Curtis Good is away with the national under-20s. And Brendan Hamill is showing that he's not bad an option from this point on, because that was real power, mental power, not only to win the ball, good anticipation, but the intent to drive forward and score was fantastic. And that just invited Adelaide on. They had enough chances, Simon, there's no question, before the controversy to have got themselves back level from which they could have maybe had an assault to from that point on to win the game. But this was a really key moment. Hugely controversial. To me, it's a continuation of the theme that the close calls have gone against Melbourne Heart, and they've not been strong enough to overcome those. Colosimo's second yellow sent. I'm pretty convinced that Andy Slorry has won this free kick. I think he's held Simon Colosimo to him. But that's not to criticise the referee. He's got to make a second call from the evidence that he's seen, and he's gone the way of Adelaide United.
Unfortunately for Melbourne Hearts, it not only cost them the services of Colosimo, it also cost them a goal from the resultant free kick. Spasadilewski with his first for the club.
And credit to the coach, who's been lambasted, understandably, and probably quite rightly so to this point. The results haven't been good enough. But 2 of the players he benched after last week's mauling at the hands of Brisbane, Slorry and Dilewski, figured in the lead up to the goal and then the scoring of the goal.
After the break, Levitchka's strike force assembled to take on the Gold Coast as the Sky Blues look for their first home win of the season. And Newcastle on red alert as Perth's Shane Smeltz comes to town. Welcome back to the Hyundai A-League Highlight Show with Simon Hill and Andy Harper. Andy, Archie Thompson, 33 years of age, but still lighting up the A-League.
Well, he has been, over the course of the A-League, the headline act as far as I'm concerned. You talk about the distance of the A-League and distance covered by the A-League, and Archie Thompson has been the pin-up boy. He started the season, like a lot of his teammates, a little bit slow, but he bounced back last week away to Wellington, and he was inspirational, the catalyst, along with his very high-quality teammates, Harry Kewell and Carlos Hernandez, to that remarkable result on the weekend. Congratulations to Archie Thompson.
Now, Sydney FC haven't really set the heather on fire yet this season, but the Sky Blues are slowly building momentum, having only lost one of their previous 12 A-League matches prior to the visit of Gold Coast United. Vita Slavlovitska made one enforced change, Hirofumi Moriyasu in for Terry Antonis, who is away on international duty. Miron Bleiberg selected an unchanged Gold Coast starting 11, for whom Christian Rees was making his 100th A-League appearance. Mark Rudin joined me in commentary at the SFS.
Bakeman's clever ball. And that's a late challenge by Pascal Boskart, and he's going to be the first player to go into the notebook of Peter Green. Well, he was certainly high and he was certainly late on James Brown. Here's the free kick. It's headed not too far over the top by Paul Batemans. Flat delivery, and it's headed into the back of the net by Christian Rees, who celebrates a goal on his 100th A-League appearance. Gold Coast lead.
Driven in by Robson, and where was the marking by Sydney FC? Hands on hips. Everyone's looking around, but it was free as a bird. Jamie Coyne got in there a little bit too late. Liam.
Wrong angle for the cross for Adama Traore. Liam Reddy with the early release, and Mark Bridge could be through here one-on-one with Glenn Moss. It's Bridge! And it's cleared off the line by Michael Thwaite. It was destined to be a goal all the way, other than for his intervention.
Oh, it's fantastic work by the skipper, Michael Thwaite.
Jamison with the outswinger. Boskart wins the aerial duel. Emerton hooks it back. Oh, what a save by Moss! A great double save by Glenn Moss. Again, Mark Bridge is denied.
Not one, but two saves then. Mark Bridge found himself free as a bird. Where was the marking by the Gold Coast defenders on that occasion?
Can they get back on level terms here? Emerton with a little chip. There's two waiting here. Nick Carl on the volley. Oh, and it took a deflection, which just took it wide of the post. I think Glenn Moss might have been beaten.
To Mark Bridge, putting Brett Emerton through, and a little dink over the top to Nicky Carl, and look at that. Is it going to be one of those days for Sydney FC again? There's some great opportunities.
Mark Rudin, how do you see this second half going?
Well, they've changed not so much the formation, but the personnel in the formation. Carol Kissel is now on the right-hand side of that midfield diamond. Nicky Carl on the top of the diamond.
Now here's a chance for Dylan McAllister, who's onside. Out comes Reddy, he's not got there, and Dylan McAllister scores. And what a great time to score for the Gold Coast. And what a disaster that is, Mark Rudin, for Sydney FC.
Well, they've just got themselves out of the dressing sheds. As Beecham there was caught on the wrong side. It's a great ball in by Jungschlager as well. Rounds the keeper, Liam Reddy, with ease, to be honest, and tucks it away for the second. Gold Coast on fire in the second half. 2-0 to the good away from home.
Kazarine finding Kissel. Now they try and hit Brett Emerton early. He's got the motor to get there, don't worry about that. Super ball too. Oh, goodness me, how did they score there? Bridge still might. Glenn Moss denies them. And another chance goes begging for Sydney FC. That was a chance right on a plate for Mark Bridge. And perhaps the sign of a striker that's not really in the best of form, best of confidence at the moment.
Well, confidence is probably the better word right now, and he should have scored that.
Headed by Thwaite. This is Jungschlager, and Brett Emerton full of energy, full of running as always. And he's kept the ball in play. Great play by the Sydney FC number 7. Finds Jamison too, and that's a crucial challenge by James Brown. Corner for Sydney. Emerton with the in swinger, and Glenn Moss with a palm away. Swung in towards Kazarine. Bruno Kazarine! Sydney are back in the game. Right on the hour mark. And now we've got a contest.
Kissel out to Boskart, who's delivered a fantastic ball into Kazarine. You have to jump all that much. A fantastic header there. As you mentioned, it is game on now, 2-1.
Well, it's given them a toe hold in the game, which looked to be getting away from them. Bridge. All of a sudden, they're sprightly Sydney FC. Bit of confidence about their play. Nicky Carl. Oh, beautifully done. Bridge took the shot. It breaks here for Nicky Carl. 2-2. What a comeback!
Well, as LL Cool J would say, don't call it a comeback. Again, is that man Brett Emerton who started things with a quickly taken throw in. Mark Bridge on the end of it, got a little bit lucky with a ricochet. And 3-3 for Nicky Carl.
Seb Ryle attacking the ball. Out it comes for Nick Carl here. Lifts it over the top looking for Emerton, who he finds. Emerton's dink in. Oh, Kazarine goes down. No penalty, says Peter Green. Well, the Sydney fans and Kazarine in particular are furious.
My hand was there.
McAllister held up by Seb Ryle, who charges forward. The Cove urging Sydney FC on. In it goes, back it comes for Carol Kissel, who sets it up. Up goes Kazarine. It drops here for Jamison. Oh, great save by Glenn Moss to keep the Gold Coast level right at the death. Brilliant stuff by Moss.
Oh, Scott Jamison, he lets fly. Fantastic save by Glenn Moss. He's kept his side in it, that's for sure.
Sydney pushing hard for the winner here. 2 minutes of injury time played. Back with Boscarts. In it goes towards Michael Beecham. Might drop for Beecham. Kazarine trying to dig it out. Oh. Penalty for Sydney. Miron Blyberg can't believe it. Dylan McAllister can't believe it.
Wow.
The Cove certainly can. And Sydney perhaps have the chance to win it right at the death.
Unbelievable. 2-0 down. They've got themselves back to 2-2. Well, he's given it for handball. In all honesty, Dylan McAllister had no idea about that.
Well, gee, we've had some controversial decisions this weekend in the Hyundai A-League, and that's another one of them. But penalty is the decision, and Carol Kissel has the chance, surely, at this late stage, to win the points for Sydney FC after being 2-0 down. Carol Kissel wins it for Sydney. The comeback is complete. Extraordinary. Absolutely extraordinary.
The SFS has erupted. It's a good penalty too. Low to the right of Glenn Moss. But it's that man there in his team, Sydney FC. We're going to walk away with the points.
Now, our final action comes from Osgrid Stadium, where Newcastle Jets have been impregnable so far this season. And with Perth's poor away form, it was perhaps no surprise the Jets came home with the points, Andy. 2 goals for Jeremy Brockie, who's in the form of his life at the moment.
Fantastic form, Jeremy Brockie. He's a good player with more to come, but he's found nicely by skipper Jobe Wheelhouse. Perth's start in this game, Simon, was woeful, to say the least, and they found themselves 2 down and chasing the game after 20 minutes. Notwithstanding the quality of Jeremy Brockie's finishes, Perth can't take this sort of start into any football match and hope to be figuring in the finals at the end of the season. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. Newcastle did brilliantly in the opening 20 minutes. They were athletic, they were incisive, and with the old man in the centre of midfield, Casey Werman, on the tiller, they were looking the goods.
And I'll tell you what, if Brockie's first goal was good, that was Paul Gascoigne-esque, was it not?
Apparently, according to one commentator, it was. Look, you get carried away with these things, and Gascoigne's goal, and Gascoigne himself was a champion player. But Jeremy Brockie is carving out his own reputation for these sorts of instinctive finishes. He hasn't scored a bad goal. He's got 3 in 5 games this year. All 3 have been very, very expertly taken. And as we're seeing here, as the first half was unfolding, Newcastle could have easily put Perth away, and similarly with the second half. Perth played most of the football in the second half, but still, were it not for Danny Vukovic, the game would have been finished a lot sooner than it was.
Ian Ferguson said he was very unhappy with the first half display. As you say, they came back into the second half. When you've got Shane Smeltz on your side, you're always a threat.
Well, that was given as a goal kick, but at the time, and I believe it now, I think Ben Kennedy got a fantastic touch onto that. He's been in good form as well. But Perth opened up in defence. defence, the runners for Newcastle caused them all sorts of trouble. That would have been 3-0 and game over, but Vukovic saved his team, kept them in it. And Perth, on the evidence of the second half, will be disappointed they didn't come away with something. Injury to Ben Kantarowski opened the door for Casey Werman to come back and prove a point, and Fox Field shows us exactly the point that he did prove. Indeed, Simon, it was a tale of two playmakers. We're going to start this one with Ryan Griffiths, himself providing plenty of energy for the Newcastle Jets. But Casey Werman, the big question about him around Newcastle at the moment is, does he have the legs to sustain a campaign where Gary Van Egmond and modern football indeed is looking for high-tempo, high-pressing football? That aside, the football coefficient shows that Werman can still pick a pass. He split Perth on a number of occasions, set up the second goal for Brocky, put Franny Jeffers and Ryan Griffiths in front of the goal on more than one occasions. The other side of the coin on the weekend was Perth's own Liam Miller. We didn't see enough of him. The question remains for Ian Ferguson, I'm sure from the Perth Glory fans, is why did it take 70-odd minutes for Liam Miller to start figuring in the football match? Because you can see the types of qualities that he brings to Perth's attack. He's the sort of guy who's comfortable on the ball. He likes to prompt attackers in and around the penalty area. The little give and go and the link play to keep things going, indeed for himself to get into goal scoring positions. There's no question in my mind that Perth looked at their best from 70 minutes on when Miller figured.
OK, Perth Glory still a work in progress perhaps. Let's have a quick check on the ladder as it stands after 5 rounds. Brisbane still 4 points ahead. Newcastle in second along with Perth, both on 9 points. Melbourne Heart, the only team yet to win. Brisbane Roar, the only team yet to lose. So 16 goals, 2 red cards, over 60,000 fans, some incredible football, and the men in the middle very much under the spotlights. Just another ordinary weekend in the Hyundai A-League. See you next week for the highlight show when Adam Peacock and Mark Rudin will be standing in for me and Andy. From us both, see you soon.